the Tolulope, we are seeing on the flyer was called up for an emergency meeting, so she just needed to take an excuse. So, however, she had sent sincere apologies and also asked me to guarantee you people that the value you have come to get still remains intact, still remain exactly the same way you wanted it. All right, so we'll be moving ahead. And once again, I'll be saying thank you very much, to everyone of us, for joining this call, for taking our time to be at this section. And I can assure you that it will be very insightful. We appreciate your presence. And if you know other business owner, like I stated earlier, you can just send the link to them. Please be free to share the registration link to them so they can join us as well. So we should have a larger house and we all learn together. So today's webinar is proudly hosted by the Business Hub at Sterling Bank. We know the Business Hub, that's TBH. For those that are just joining us for the first time, you don't know what TBH means. So TBH is a Sterling Bank product as well, dedicated to help business owners. When I mean business owner, either you are a startup, either you are growing, or even though you are a large enterprise. Yes, so the business of support owners with solutions such as business registration, business advisories, funding, training, compliance support, and other tools that are designed to help our business succeed and grow. However, before we proceed, I would want you to know that please let's ensure our mics are muted, and you are free to drop your question and answer in the chat box. And we also encourage everyone to stay to the end to get the full value from this section. All right, so for the objective for today's webinar is to address challenges almost every business owner is facing right now. And that's how to price product, how to service profitability where costs keep increasing. So today we'll be tracking something every business owner deals with. How to price right when cost is rising without losing customers, or also sacrificing your profit margin. So by the end of this section and presentation, I can assure you that you have a simple practical framework which you can apply immediately to your businesses. All right, so for us to move further in this section, we'll be moving straight to the presentation for the day. And it will be my pleasure to introduce you the speaker for today. This is the business manager at the Business Hub. She's a growth advisor with extensive experience in helping MSME grow and make profit, also strengthen their financial management and skill. Also, she had supported businesses across diverse sectors to navigate economic challenges, unlock growth opportunities, and build stronger resilience as well. So everybody, not to waste much of our time, please join me in welcoming Esther Atobatele as she take us through today's presentation. Thank you very much, everyone. Over to you, Esther.
Good afternoon, everyone. Rotimi, please, can you confirm you can see me so that you know that this is real? This is not AI speaking, but this is someone that has in-depth knowledge of how business should run as a business advisory. It's my pleasure to be here today to have this session with you all. And I'm so excited because I believe that every MSME here today means that your business means something to you. And that's exactly why this session was designed for you, right? So before we go into the main program of today, I would like to drop something immediately. Give me a moment to pull up my screen. I want to ask us a question. Okay. Let me know when you can see my screen. Okay. Please, can I know when you can see my screen? I would like to know.
Yes, Esther, we can see your screen. We can see your screen.
Okay, thank you, thank you. To be sure that everyone is here with me and we didn't just dial in. And like I said, I believe that every MSME here today joined because their business means a lot to them, right? I will just take us. So today, like Rotimi had mentioned, we're going to be speaking to cracking the code profitable pricing. When your costs keep rising, everyone will agree with me today that cost increasing in Nigeria and even globally, right, is not a news anymore. But then again, are we making profit or we're actually not able to pay ourselves salary from our businesses, which is not how every MSME here today should be running their business. So that's why it's my great pleasure to take us through this journey today. And I hope that everyone on this call would have one or two things to take home because I would like to ensure that everyone is impacted by this conversation today. I'll try to make it very interactive as possible. And, we're just going to do an ice break for 5 minutes. The real problem, what's really the real problem? The pricing formula, how to raise without losing, your action plan, and the Q&A. That's how it's going to go today. That's what we're going to, that's basically how the session is going to run. So before we go into the session proper, I would like to ask a very quick question. And also to be sure that everyone on this call are with me and not just dialed in, right? So my first question is this. When your costs go up, what do you usually do? My option A says absorb it, keep my price the same. I honestly don't know how to calculate the right price. Raise prices but feel guilty about it. I have a clear pricing system that works for me. Which one speaks to you today? Please, can you drop your answers in the chat room? I want to see. Please let us make it interactive as possible. Like I mentioned, it's going to be as interactive as possible. Please, can I see people drop the answers in the chat room? When your costs go up, what do you usually do? I can assure you that every business person on this call today had experienced increase in cost at one point in time or the other, right? So let me know. Let me know. I am waiting for people to drop their chat. So and you can also actually introduce yourself, your name, where you are joining from before you answer your question, so that we see that people are on this call with us. Okay. Do I have? Okay, okay. Yeah. Thank you to everyone that has responded. So Lawal Amalara says A. Taiwo Dada says D. Kente Adeyemo says, oh, Kente Adeyemo says he can't hear me. Please, because I've had people answer, I believe that people can hear me. So Kente, please, do you want to check your network? It could be a network issue from your end. Okay, I see a lot of bees, right? And okay, Daniel says it's from Lagos. Okay, option B as well. Taiwo Dada is from Benin City, Edo State, and Shegun is into R&S dry cleaning services. Shegun, I like that. I tell people that any room you find yourself, ensure to introduce yourself, any room, any opportunity you have at all, ensure to say what you do, your business, put it in your, see, Shebu said from R&S dry cleaning services. So if I need a dry cleaning services now, I know who to get to from this call, just because Shebu had introduced himself. Please, that is a point to note. As a business advisor, I will say that to you. Always use any opportunity you have, say what you do, say what you do. Okay, so Timeless says I'm Timeless Nick from Lagos. D. Ramat says AJ Varieties from Lagos. Okay, so with that being said, I see a lot of bees. Okay. Thank you. I'm happy to know that we are actually on this call. Raise price but feel guilty about it, right? That's as humans is expected. A lot of people said B, and then somebody said few people said I have a clear pricing system that works for me. Okay, that's great. We would actually know if you actually have a clear pricing system today, or you feel like you have have a clear price system, but you actually do not, right? We would know today after this session today. Okay. I didn't see any A. Okay, but I saw C. I still don't know how to calculate the right price. Okay, don't worry. At the end of this session, I promise you, you're going to know how to calculate the right price. And for everybody that chose B as well, you don't just raise when you're even raising the cost. Are you raising it well? Are you raising it in a justifiable way, or you're just working based on just assumption? Okay, let me just put 5 naira increment, let me just put a 10 naira, let me just put a 12 naira, which actually in the real sense of it might not be doing justice to the cost increments, right? You just feel like, okay, let me just add 5 naira because your competitor is also still doing within that margin. But you should know that when it comes to pricing, sometimes it's not totally about what competitors is doing. Right. Okay. So I will just go straight into the session. Thank you everyone for responding. Okay. So I said the first thing we're going to also speak to is what is actually happening to Nigeria business right now. What's actual problem? We're localizing it now. So statistics shows that 40% increment, right, has been noticed on cost since 2023, and it's not going backward. It's increasing, keeps increasing by the day. Also, we know that dollar rate is now as high as 1.4. Even in black market, it could be higher than that, up from 4.16 2021. Imagine that increment, right? And MSMEs report shrinking profit margins. 63% of MSMEs report shrinking profit margins. Say, for instance, what happens is when you dollar rate was at 4.16, you maybe making a profit of saying 500, but now you're probably making a profit of maybe 100 naira. So it's shrinking your profit margin, right? And 1 in 3 businesses closed in past 18 months. So you can see that it's a very, very major challenge. It's something that is worth your while. And that's why I said today that every MSME on this call, right? I appreciate the fact that I'm speaking to you, because you know what? You own your business, you are proud of your business, and you are taking your business seriously. So you see what I said about um profit shrinking, right? See this statistics showing in 2022 your selling price was 2.5. This is just an assumption of a business, right? Statistics from a business. um Selling at 2.5 in 2022, but the cost of making those products as of 2022 was just 1,800. So the person's profit was 700, which make a lot of sense, right? But in 2023, you see maintain the same pricing for since 2023 to 2024. It's still at 2023 was still 2.5, 2025 was still 2.5. So as at 2023, the cost had increased to 2,600. You see that if you maintain the price of 2.5, then you are actually making a loss, an 100 naira loss. You are not making profit at all. Then in 2024, cost increased to 3.2. And if you still maintain your cost because your customer already knows the cost, you don't want to lose customer. And same, I meet a lot of business people today, and that's what they say. Oh, I don't want to lose my customers. My customers are already used to this cost. I don't want to increase my costs. I don't want my customers to leave and all these things. I hear people say this a lot, but you don't want to be in a business that is closing in no time, right? So please look at these numbers. What does it tell you? It tells you that you cannot be doing things the same way. You cannot, okay, I mentioned the other time that people that chose B said, oh, they already know how to increase their cost. You could be increasing your cost in 2024, say because you were selling at because you're still selling at 2.5 and you just increase your cost to 3,000. Even at 3,000, you're still going to be making a loss though, because your cost is actually 3.2. So even when you sell at 3.1, your cost is actually still 3.2. You're still making a loss. So it's a very big leaps from 2.5 to say maybe you want to increase your cost to 4,000 naira. Oh, so you feel like, how will I explain the spike, right? From 2,500 to 4,000, and you get scared and like, oh no, I can't do that. My customers will not, they won't understand this. Please, do you want to stay in business? Then you need to know that these things there has to be numbers going into whatever you are doing. You're not just putting increments. A lot of businesses, what they do today is just put in increments, say from 2.5, okay, let me just make it, let me just round it up to 3,000. You see what I said? This is just a very typical example of why you cannot just be doing that. You can't just be increasing without looking at your numbers inward and outward, right? Okay. So that takes me to my next slide. Yeah, so I mentioned this earlier. The three mistakes costing you money. Be honest with us, right? Which one are you making? I'm very sure a lot of us are making these mistakes. Pricing by feeling, like I said, you just had 500 naira to 5 to say, oh, okay, 3,000 naira should work. I will charge what feels right with no calculation of number, those numbers I just showed you now. Then you see that you're going to be making a loss, or you're just copying competitors. They are setting prices based on what your others are charging, ignoring that their costs and margins may be completely different from yours. You're what now? You're pricing the same way as someone in, say you're not in Lagos, you have to cheapen your materials from Lagos. Take for instance, you're in, say, Port Harcourt, and you only source out for your cost for your materials somewhere as far as maybe 3 states away from you. Definitely part of your costing would be the transport fare, the logistics to bring these materials to you. Or you have a store in, let me use Lagos, right? A typical Lagos example. You have a store in Lekki, and your competitor has a store in somewhere on mainland, right? The rent can obviously not be the same in most cases. Sometimes there's a lot of places that their costs are also high in mainland, but on a scale of 1 to 10, most time Lekki rents are always higher than most places in on the mainland. But because your competitor is on the mainland, your store or your factory or where you is on the highland, and you want to be pricing the same way, you want to be selling to your customers the same way, you see that there's no way you can match up and be selling at the same rate as your competitor, absorbing cost increase. Okay, then you feel like, so when it was in 2021, just like the last slide I showed you, right? In 2022, right, you were making 700, but you now feel like, okay, the increment, I should still be making 500 naira, I should still be making 300 naira. But no, you should not be reducing your profits because you want to be in business. That is not a strategic way to stay in business. So you just find yourself floating and not actually thriving in your business, right? So please, if you are making any of these mistakes today, this is the time, this is a wake up call to you to say that you should not, after this conversation today, you should not be found still being in that same category of mistake one, mistake two, mistake three. I know some people that are even guilty of all the mistakes, both mistake one, two, three at one point of the time or the other in their business, which is very, very bad for your business. Okay, so straight to what we are saying today, your pricing formula. So after all I've said, what I was basically saying to you is that there has to be a formula. You can't just be working based on, okay, I will just have a 500, oh, I will just have a 1,000, oh, I will just have a 2 naira. You can't be working based on that. There have to be a very strategic pricing formula. And what's the pricing formula? It's not hard at all. Cost of production. What goes into cost of production will be the material, the labor, the overhead, right? Plus your operating expenses, right? Your operating expenses. All these things has to go into, okay, all these has to go into how you are selling. So we say materials plus labor plus overhead plus rent plus data plus transportation. Some people don't even factor in data, transportation. rent because they pay maybe some people just like in a very typical Nigerian rental scheme whereby you pay at the beginning of the year or at the end of the year or a year after or 2 years after because you've paid off that funds. You don't even put it into costs going forward, which is not supposed to be so. So please today you should know that you should be able to break your rent, factor in your rent, your data. Everybody can agree with me today that the amount they use for data in say in short in 5 months ago to what they the cost of data today is not the same thing. Your data should also go into your expenses. It's part of your expenses. If definitely if you are using the data for business, your transportation, labor, your employees, you are paying people to do these things. All of them are factored into cost of production and operational expenses. Then your desired profit. Okay, for every good I sell, what do I want to earn? It's not optional. You should know what you want to earn. Do you want to earn a 200? Do you want to earn a 500? Do you want to earn a 700? Do you want to earn a 1000 naira? But in most cases, so that you're not greedy, like your customers will say, at least you should have a percentage, say percentage increments after your cost of production and your operational expenses. You can add an additional 30% of this cost, the entire cost, 30% of it, or you can choose a percentage for yourself, but I can say a 30% is fine. Your 30% of whatever your one and two is should now be added to your number one and two cost, right? Then it gives you your minimum selling price. Below this selling price that you've been able to calculate, then that means you are paying to work. You're actually paying to work. You're not making profits. Your business is not paying, you are paying your business. So calculate per unit, then multiply by volume. This is your floor price. Add your desired markup on top. Let me explain to you again. Cost of production, operational expenses, add them together. Then your desired profit, that is say 30% of your cost of production and your operational expenses. This gives you your minimum selling price per product, right? So for this to make a lot of sense to us, I also have my next slide is speaking to a real case scenario, a real life scenarios of how it works. Okay, so this is it. Let's work it out. So that it doesn't, we said today that this class is going to be a practical class. When I say practical, we say practical. We're bringing in very granular. So it doesn't feel like we're just speaking and speaking and speaking, but we're speaking to things that you can take back home and say, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. So this is a typical example of a food vendor in Lagos. Her cost went up. Watch the formula in action. So she makes chin chin, right? Everybody knows chin chin. She sells chin chin, and the flour plus groundnut oil cost her 8,500. Please note that these costs are just simulated costs. They're not the actual cost of things, right? Gas plus packaging, 2,200 naira. Labor, that's herself and if she has other employees, 2,000 naira. Transport to market to get to source out of this all these materials, 800 naira. That is to and fro, that's logistics. And monthly overhead per batch. So it's at 1,500. You make a calculation of everything. Remember, when we talk about data, these are covered under monthly overhead. And if you want to break yours in granularly, you can do that. That's you mention transport to market, you mention data, you mention rent, you put them down. Just make sure that all the cost that goes into producing that chin chin, you have them all calculated. Then your total batch cost is at 1,000 and 15,000 naira, right? And this is for her to make 50 bags of chin chin. This is what she spent. These are expense to make 50 bags of chin chin. So she divides 15,000 naira divided by 50. That means for each bag, she's going to be producing them at 300 naira. That's the total cost to produce each bag is at 300 naira. But her old price was 250. So she was losing 50 naira per bag. Wholesaling. So if she still maintains her wholesaling price at 250, that means she'll be losing 15 naira per bag. She's not making profit. She's even losing again. And there's no way this business will survive in months if you keep losing. Definitely, this business is ready to crumble because you cannot be losing at every point in time, right? So, but because we're here today, we'll now take it to how to better calculate this. So we have the cost up to the calculation up to this extent is the same thing. That's cost to get these materials. It's still at 15,000 naira, right? If your cost per bag is 300 naira, then your profit margin, like I mentioned, you can have a 30% profit margin. So 30% of this is 90 naira. So your new minimum price is 390. So that means cost price is 300 naira per bag. Please remember this is per bag. And the profit margin per bag also at 30% is 19 naira. So summing that together, that makes gives us 390 as our minimum price. And we recommend that you could close it up to say 400 naira per bag. So revenue she's getting on 50 bags is 20,000 naira. Revenue includes all revenue means all the sales, right? When you sell all the 50 bags as for 400 naira, that's 20,000 naira. Then when you remove your cost price from which is 15 naira, 15,000 naira, sorry, when you remove your cost price, then it gives us a profit per batch of 5,000 naira. Yeah, 5,000 naira. So please, can I see from the chat room? Do we have anybody that has any question? So, like I said, today is going to be a practical class. It's not a class whereby we come to speak again. I know a lot of you will say, "Oh, you know that when you buy something at 1 naira, you should sell it at 2 naira to make profit." But are you actually factoring every other thing? Transport to markets, your monthly overhead. Are you factoring them into what you are doing? That's the essence of this conversation today, right? So, do we have anyone that has any question for me? Do we have any? Okay, okay. I see no question. I believe that I've been able to do justice to this, right? Okay, so I'm just going to move on to the next conversation. Okay, so the next slide speaks to your pricing formula. Okay, I've spoken to this. Then, so my next question will be, what will you recalculate in your business this week? Is it your cost per unit because it was never properly done? Is it your operating expenses? I think I'm underestimating. Do you think you're underestimating um your profit margin? Is it that you don't know your own profit margin? What is actually your profit margin? So some people don't even know what it is. So like I said the other time, some people will just do, okay, I bought this thing for 5 naira. Let me just put 2 naira because Madam so other venture is selling at 7 naira. So what exactly is that profit margin on how you bought your own? Remember, your cost might vary from your competitors' costs. It might vary. It cannot always be the same thing. Even if you buy from the same person, are you paying the same rent? Are you paying the same data cost? Are you transporting at the same cost? All these things, ensure that you are factoring it into your cost price, right? And the next question says, or the next option, I mean, it says my selling price, I know it needs to go up. So please, can I see answers to this question? What will you recalculate based on Ada's example? What will you recalculate in your business this week? Is it the cost per unit? Is it your operational expenses? Is it your profit margin? Is it your selling price? Which one do you think you're going to go back to the drawing board to recalculate? Okay, so I have a question. Steven says that what do you mean by monthly overhead, considering that there's already labor expenses in what I'm doing. So it speaks to your overhead speaks to your running cost for your business, your regular or your fixed or indirect cost of running a company. So cost of running a company, say for instance, say data, say utility, say oh apologies please, my light is off. Okay, when my light comes back up, please everybody permit me to disable my camera for now. Apologies for that. Okay, so overhead cost, I was trying to answer what overhead cost means. Okay, so overhead cost is that regular running, that cost you use to run your business regularly, say data, say utility, right? Those are the things that should be under your overhead costs today. Say your lawma. So you know utility bill, utility doesn't have to only do with electricity. It could be your what now? Lawma, what is it called? That's waste for your waste. You know, there are different things that goes into running your business today. Do you get to aside your basic your permanent laborers, those are your employees. You also source out for other people like factory workers, you know, those things you can put them under your overhead costs. I hope I've been able to answer your question, Stephen. So rent, your utilities, your insurance, office supplies. Remember too, overhead costs also do office supplies. So every month you buy toiletries in complaint. Every month, you know, those things are actually cost of operation as well. Okay, Stephen said yes. No, thank you, Stephen. So remember, when we say overhead costs, let me bring it home. So things like, you know, at the beginning of every month, you buy toiletries. At the beginning of every month, somebody comes to fumigate. At the beginning of every month, you pay for Loma. At the beginning of every month, you pay the utility bill. At the beginning of every month or in between the months, you buy data, all these things, right? Some people don't calculate it. A lot of people, especially those ones that sell goods, what you just calculate is that my supplier gave me at 2 naira. I'm selling it at 3 naira. Are you actually supposed to sell it at 3 naira? Remember, all these other things are factored in. You have people that are working in the say you are into you sell drinks. You have people that are working for you, moving things in the toilet. You buy toiletries, different things that factors in. They are called your overhead cost. Okay, so somebody also asks, what about service oriented businesses? Easy peasy. Service oriented businesses too. So remember that what you're supposed to do is say you have to factor in those costs as well. So you pay yourself first as okay, what do I want to charge this person? Aside for your human labor, right? Then you start calculating those other things too. Utility still applies to you, rent still applies to you. Do you have employees as well? Those ones still applies to you. So what might not apply to you is maybe transportation, things that might not apply to you, maybe cost of buying things, but definitely the cost to provide that service to your customer is still a cost. The okay, yeah, that's why so somebody also say that you're focusing mostly to product based, that's retail product based businesses, and not to people that provide services. Yes, I'm responding to service based businesses as well. Like I mentioned, remember your buy cost too, it's across board, be it retail, be it someone in service consultant or service based businesses, right? Those still applies to you, right? Then what doesn't apply to, like I mentioned, will be cost to buy something, but definitely you know the cost you want to use to render that service. Aside the cost you were rendering before, you need to know that probably you even engage your clients online. The cost for data 5 months ago is not the cost you're using to engage your customers online again. You are saying sewing is also still service based. You are sewing. You cost of buying thread, cost of buying cost of having people, other people to sew for you is not the same anymore. Nobody's going to be collecting the cost they were collecting from you in 2 years before. Your tailors won't be collecting those costs again. So you know, so this particular dress, how much did I spend entirely? What's my overhead cost? What did it cost me to buy materials to these clothes? What's my profit margin when I pay everybody? Then you are able to answer yourself. Also, if you're into you're a consultant, that service based, you're a consultant, you have a salon, you're providing services to people, not tangible goods now. Like I mentioned, you need to say that, okay, what do I want to be charging people for my service? Then aside from what you want to be charging, you should also factor in all those other costs that it entails you. If you're having to go to meet your clients, you do home service, or you're having to transport yourself before you're able to deliver a service, maybe you're a contractor, you have to go to the site various times. You need to also factor in transportation to go and come. Okay, so somebody says that I should explain what I mean by my minimum selling price is below this, paying to work under your, yes. So what I mean is that when you calculate your cost, add your margin, and you are selling below that minimum cost. I said already that that typical example that we made use of was 390, right? I said if you are selling below that 390, if you are selling below that 390, then you are not making business, you are paying to work, meaning you are paying your business to work for you. You're not actually getting, so you are into business to also make profit, to be able to pay yourself. A lot of time when I meet people, I tell them that you should not mix your business with your personal dealings, right? And every month when you are doing a business, you should be able to pay yourself salary as well. So if you're not able to pay yourself salary, then that means you are paying to work, you are paying your work like your business, you're not actually paying yourself. If you're not able to say from your profit to say, okay, this is my own salary. So even as if someone that owns a business, you should be able to pay yourself salary from your business proceeds, right? So that's what I mean by that. Okay, I don't think I've seen answers to this question. Oh, sorry. To this question, I know I have a question for us. What are we going to be recalculating our business today? Okay, I believe that maybe people know what they want to calculate. Is it your cost? It's just a wake up call. You might get some part right. Maybe there are some parts you need to look back into. Is it your cost per unit? Are you calculating everything that needs to be calculated? Are you calculating your operating expenses as well? Some people just calculate what they used to buy. That they can just remember the 2 million naira they gave supplier. They don't factor in other operational expenses. Also, if you're a service-based business, you don't factor in your operational expenses. Operational expenses is has to do with, for a service-based business now, we say your operational expenses will be the services, like I mentioned. Maybe you have to engage your customer online. Maybe you guys have to have a video call, or the customer sends you their breakdown of their business, you're helping them review, or some of those things are it takes your data, right? Those things are part of your operational expenses. Do you need light to be able to serve that customer? You are paying for light as well. It's part of your operational expenses, right? Then your profit margin. And is it 5% today? Is it 2%? Is it 1%? And you're supposed to be making at least 10%, say 20% and 30%. But in the true sense of it, maybe it's just a 1% of your cost that you're making. Okay, so thank you to the back end guys. They have actually helped us with a poll just for us to just choose. Okay. See, I see the answers coming. So I see some people say going to go back to calculate their cost per unit. Some people say they're going to go back to calculate operating expenses, and I see some people also say my profit margin. Okay, I don't see anybody say my selling price, and that's because when you're able to calculate ABC, you're able to, it will eventually lead into add up into your selling price. You're able to say, okay, when you had your profit margin, definitely into your A and B, it gives you your D, which is your selling price. Thank you. I like the fact that I'm saying people respond, and it doesn't feel like I'm just talking and talking and talking. Like I mentioned, I don't want this session to be a session whereby I'm not able to, as your business advisor, I'm not able to impact and let you go home back with something today. Okay, so a lot of people are going to be scared. How will I move? For the typical example I showed you the other time of a business that was selling 2,500 before, and you then realize, say for instance, you went back today and realized that, oh, your cost is actually 3,200, right? Definitely you can't be selling at 2,500 again. You need to increase the cost, and you're increasing the cost to say a 4,000 naira. So you are scared to say, hey, how do I move from 2,500 to 4,000? How do I communicate this to customers? Won't it be absurd? Won't customer leave? So we don't just give you the go forward. We'd also help you with things to ensure that you'll be staying busy, because I want to see the numbers of people enjoying this kind of webinars today increase, not decrease, because you are no longer in business. So the fear is real, right? I'm not going to tell you the fear is not real. Here's how to do it right. Communicate before you change, right? You know how you go to the market today. Maybe your supplier, they just told you that without prior notice that, oh, we're no longer going to be selling to you at 2 naira, we're going to be now be selling to you at 4 naira. But they never told you, what the day you wanted to buy something, they're not telling you. You know how you feel. That's the same way your customers will feel. So before you change your price, communicate to your customers. I'm sure that every one of us has a data. Yes, we might not have the data of new customers, but for your existing customers, in 2026, you can't be running a business and you don't have data of your customers. You don't even know, have your customers' phone numbers, you don't have their names, you don't have to contact them. And then your loyal customers, that is very wrong. That is a very wrong way of running a business. Please ensure you communicate before you change your price. Add a reason to accept it. Add something small at the new price. Better packaging, faster delivery, a small extra. They feel they are getting more, not paying more. Maybe you're that's why you see that some even big companies sometimes they are changing the packaging, but they're also increasing the cost, right? It's not because of that. Sometimes it's not because of that packaging they change alone that they're increasing the cost. Different things also factored into that cost increment, right? And a reason to accept it. Don't just dump it on people to say, if they'll buy, they'll buy. People that will not buy will just go. Don't be that kind of a business person. That is not a forward thinking business person. That's not a business that wants to grow. Use a transition deadline. Say order at the old price before so date. It creates urgency. Loyal customers stock up. New ones join at the new prices, right? It's fine. New ones will join at the new price. They didn't even know what you were selling before. So those are not your headaches when you're changing prices. Your headache should be your existing customers that were already buying at 2,500. You now want to tell them that, oh, you want to increase from 2,500 to a 3,000 naira, right? Use a transition deadline. Oh, order from today to midnight. That's what you see a lot of people do it on social media today. You see people saying order from price change alerts. Different people use different captions. Price change alerts. Order from now till 12 p.m. today at the old price. After 1 p.m. it increases. After by tomorrow it increases. All those urgency. Just try to create some sort of buzz. That way too, there's no customer that, even if the customer miss the communication, they will not miss that one of that urgency drive to say, oh, the communicator that their price is increasing. Be confident. No, the prices reflect the quality I deliver. Confidence sells. Apology creates doubt. Own your numbers. Own your numbers to say, ensure that when you are increasing the cost, you maintain or you even increase the quality. Some people would increase the cost but reduce the quality and expect that customers should understand, or you're just giving excuses. You're having reasons to start to explain to customers why you are not meeting up to the standard anymore when your costs are still increasing. Never be in that position. Be confident about what you are selling. Be confident about your service to your customers. Be confident that you're going to be giving your customers even better, right? So even when you're increasing your cost, because you know that nobody takes increments of cost so likely, right? Or so easy. Try to even add something to just maybe like a complimentary, something complimentary for the first, maybe say 1 week or something. And before you know it, now at that new cost. right? So please remember today, if you're not remembering, when you're increasing your cost, communicate before you change to your customer. Add a reason for them to accept it. Use a transition deadline. Be confident, no apology. Even if you are service based, send an SMS to your customers today to say, oh, to provide you this service now, we will now be charging 1 hour of our time. Okay, say service based. Let me take a counselor, say, okay, maybe a therapist, right? To tell you, oh, for 1 hour of our time now, we will be giving you more of our attention, but you need to know that our cost per hour has now increased from 2 naira to 3 naira, and that's because a lot of things has to go into place to ensure that we give you the best quality you want, and you have result for every service we render to you. Okay, there's our script when the customer says it is too expensive. Trust me, we are not living in the oblivious, right? We are realistic. I'm realistic here. So your customers will always say it is too expensive. There's no way you will tell me I bought something 2,500 last week. It's now 4,000 naira today. There's no way I will not say it is too expensive. Or even some customers will not even say it is too expensive. When they see the quality of what you're offering, they will know that is important. Everybody knows that dollar is no longer for 16 naira, right? Everybody knows that dollar is now within range of 1.4 to 1.3 to 1.6. It fluctuates. Everybody knows this. But then again, you don't expect, so you can only communicate your increment. You don't have control over your customer's response. But it's fine when they say, oh, it is so expensive. What should then be your answer? What should be your response? Oh, about why did you increase your price? It was cheaper before. Yes, material costs have increased a lot. I adjusted to maintain the quality you deserve. My prices reflect the quality of what I use and effort I put in. I'd rather charge you fairly than reduce the quality you are used to. This price keeps my business running, so I keep serving you. These are things you can say to a customer, not telling them, oh, okay, don't you know what's happening in Nigeria? Blah, 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 blah. No, you should not be in that situation. These are things you can say to your customers today. Let them know that you are giving them value. Let them know that you are customer centric. You are ensuring that you stay at that standard or even increase the standard that they know you with. That's why you don't want to compromise on your quality. You don't want to compromise on, is it a product, is it a service you are delivering? You don't want to compromise on it, and that's why it's very essential for you to increase the cost. Please also, if you are not taking home anything today, these answers, this response are things you should also take back with. There's no customer are telling these things that would say have a sort of not convince your customer, say, okay, maybe this is right. I need to ensure that this customer can say this my service provider can still provide me well, yeah. Okay, so your three golden pricing rules. Print this, so Sarah, what is that? Print this, stick it on your wall, review every quarter, review prices every quarter, set a reminder. You might forget, a lot is happening. We understand that as a business owner, you are busy 24/7. Sometimes you are doing a lot. You are trying to come up with a new product, you're trying to meet up with your vendors, you're trying to meet up with your suppliers, you're trying to supply to your customers. Different things are happening. But you need to also remember, that's why I said set a reminder. See, emphasis on set a reminder. You might forget every 3 months. That's if you know that you can wait till 3 months. Some businesses can't wait till 3 months. Take for instance, you're importing goods. It was so price last month. It's not so price this month. Then you should know typically that you're supposed to just review your price, or what you bought the last supply is not where you're buying it in this supply. You should review. But if you know that your business has this, your cost is standard to an extent, review the prices. So you know why we said review the prices. Sometimes some people, right, the costs are still the same for the main things. The cost to buy is still the same thing for a period, but things like utility bill, you know how utility bill is by tariff, is it still at the same rates? Your data, is it 2000, is it 2 gig you used last month and you still used this month? Is it, your normal, was it how much did they charge? How much are they charging you now? The person that the toiletries you went to buy, is it still at the same cost? These things, they eat into your profit margin, but sometimes if you don't review it, you don't realize, because you just feel like, should be a bag of flour that I bought 2.5 last month, you see 2.5. But those other things, they're actually supposed to be factored into your cost. Are you reviewing them to ensure that the prices they are now, are they meeting up to your pricing? Is your profit margin still at par? Know your numbers before you quote. Like I said, know your numbers. Never quote without knowing your exact cost per unit. No gut feeling. No, let me just put naira. Let me just add 5 naira so that my customers will not say it's too much. Calculate first. Like I said, when you are reviewing, calculate everything. Please don't just assume that nothing increased. Calculate it again. Know your numbers before you quote. Make sure as a business person, you know your numbers. Price the value, not just the cost. If your product saves a customer time, stress, or money, that's worth than materials. Charge accordingly, right? Price the value, not just the cost. Value of what you're giving. Like I said, ensure that your qualities are par at every time. What you're giving to your customer, they would not, they are not compromising on your quality. Please, like I said, note these things and paste it on the wall of your office, in the wall of your shops, your factory. Just paste it and ensure that at every point in time you are reminded to check your pricing. You are reminded to do the calculations again and again, and you also remind yourself not to compromise on the value. So today, as you leave this class, calculate your true cost per unit for your top three products or services. Service people, you see that it's not just product people we are delivering to. Service people, you see, yeah, I got you. Calculate your true cost per unit. Draft your price adjustment message to customers. Use the today's script I had shared with you. I shared you some scripts. Use it, draft a message. Don't just dump things on people, or don't just write a message just for writing sake. I'm increasing from 25 to 4,000 around. That's why I should tell you. No, if it were you, will you be happy with that? Will you want to still do business with that kind of person? No. Please drive a very thoughtful, business centric, a customer centric message to your customers today that, oh, we are going to be having a price adjustment. Even when you want to buy things, even from big brands, they inform you that our prices are increasing soon, right? Some people will say, why are they telling us? When they tell people will go and be doing rush buy. That instead of them not to tell. Some people feel like, they're not smart enough. They should not have told people. People will go and stock up. There's no way you stock up that would not still, do you get? So please tell your customers your prices are adjusting, you're increasing your prices. Implement your new pricing, check sales and revenue 2 weeks later. Also, when you do this, you should not just work inside, don't work in the dark. Review your numbers, review your sales, review your revenue. Check where you were before, where you are now. Are you able to pay yourself now? We are still not able to pay yourself. Is there a need for a review? So please remember today, calculate your true cost per unit. Confirm that you are getting your profit margin from your cost to your profit margin before you get to your minimum selling price. Draft before you, don't just dump it on your customers. Send a message to them today, right? Okay, so that brings us to the end of this session. I believe that I have been able to, wake up call for us to ensure that we're paying ourselves. Like somebody asked the question the other time, what do I mean by paying your work? You're paying your work if you're not able to pay yourself salary from your profits. Remember, you're supposed to pay yourself from your profit, not from your revenue. Revenue includes the return on investment. That's return on when you sell things to people. When they pay you, right, it includes the cost of producing that produce and your profit. So when you remove the cost, that remaining one is called your profit. Your profits now, are you able to pay your employees? Are you able to pay yourself, right, from your profits? Okay, With that being said, I we have the floor open now. Hello, Rotimi, are you there?
Hi, Esther. Wow, thank you very much. Wow, wow, wow. That's really great. Please, can you see me?
Yes, I can, Rotimi. I can. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. How many of us agree with me today that this section has sincerely changed the way we think about pricing? If we do, I know we all do agree, and I believe we're on the same page. Once again, I say very big thank you to Esther. Thank you for this section. It was really insightful and practical. Thank you so much. And I'm so sure that many of us, by now, we should have different perspective on pricing. And I also believe that we've learned reason pricing really doesn't have to me. Maybe you want to lose customer. When I increase my price, my customer will go. No, you might not lose customer. Or you will not even lose customer. It all just comes down to we communicating and the value we communicating to our customers and also planning. That's we also communicating our planning in terms of change and also be confident with our pricing as well. So not to waste much of our time, we'll be moving to our next section. That's our interactive Q&A section. Please, if you have questions, if you have contributions, you can drop them in the chat box, and we will take as many as time permits us to. So please, this is a question and answer section. Esther is readily available to tackle and treat every of our concerns regarding our pricing. Okay.
Thank
Okay,
you, Rotimi.
Esther.
So I have seen some questions. I'm just going to try
Yeah.
to answer some of the questions I can see. And please, you would help me also confirm that I do not miss out on any question because I am glad to answer everyone today. Okay, so
All
the
right.
first question says, how can you explain X and Y retailer selling a product like Coke bottle for which is the common price? X retailer stays at a particular point daily, Y retailer comes using transport to same particular point. Using your pricing method, how can Y retailer stay in business? Okay, so that's a very typical example of what everyone knows today. So I believe that speaking to people selling into the distribution business, right? Some people take their goods to the customer to supply, but some would rather have customer come and pick up. They don't have they don't transport to where their customers are. But you know what I would tell you? You know that when you are transporting to where your customers are, definitely, the cost to transport is not free. In short, fuel today will not even let it free. You're going to pay for fuel, you're going to pay to the driver as well. If you have a driver, right, that is going to move the goods and drive the vehicle. So those things are some things you should also. Okay, Rosimi, can I go ahead?
Yes, sorry. Someone raised Israel Electronics and now, so I'm trying to. So please, if you can also raise electronic, and that's if you have any questions, please do. Thank you. You can proceed, Esther.
Okay, yes. So please do not, like I mentioned the other time, please do not, you cannot compare yourself to competitors. Just giving cost based on your gods. Okay, because my competitor, you as a person, you are staying in the shop, you don't move your goods. Definitely, the cost will be different from someone that's having to move their goods. And again, sometimes what happens is this: some people will see that even the ones delivering, right? The ones delivering to customers' doorsteps are still almost at the same price as the ones staying in the shop. That means the ones delivering, right? Their profit margin is definitely going to be slimmer than that person that doesn't take up the cost of transporting the goods to the customer, right? So definitely what the customer is doing. So it has to be your choice. Do you want to have a slimmer margin? Or and if you don't want to have a slimmer margin, Trust me, your customer sees value. They know the cost of having to go and buy it themselves, not just the cost of transport to go and buy it themselves. They also know the stress it will take them, the time it will take them. Some of your customers don't even want to leave their store for 2 seconds, not to talk of now having to leave their store to go and buy, the stress of going to buy, the transportation costs. So when you are delivering to them, right, and you feel like you want your margin to be like, say, at a particular price, they know that you are giving value. Do you understand? The customers know that they are giving, that they don't expect that to still be at the same cost with you that you are just in your shop. If you know that for some reasons or the other you're not able to transport to your customers, then transportation to customers store should not be part of your costs. So definitely your profit margin should be be considerate. So you should add your profit margin to the cost of supply. That means how the distributor gave it to you as a supplier, right? So please, I hope that has been able to answer. Like I said, if you know you want to be transporting the goods to your customers, you are adding value. You are reducing the stress. I said the other time there's a slide I mentioned, and I mentioned value. There's this slide. It says price the value, not just the cost. If your product saves a customer their time, their stress, their money, because they will definitely money, or even if the customer has their own car, it's still money you're going to use to transport to come to your store to come and buy. And customers even want ease. Who doesn't want ease? There's nobody that doesn't want ease. So if you know that you're able to transport, definitely you're pricing based on the value. You price based on the value you're able to add to what you're giving to your customers. Okay, so I also have a question saying, okay, I also have, because you said, I want to ask if your working capital is a loan you are paying back, and let's say you make 20 naira as net profit each month. If you are to pay your loan 10 naira monthly, is it okay to pay from your net, or you should also include the cost to your unit price? Let me read the question again. Okay, Sunday, do you want to raise your electronic hand? Okay. So to answer your question, I think I understand it now. So Sunday question is, let me read it again, the way I understood it. So it says, if you I want to ask, if your working capital is a loan, you are paying back, and let's say you make 20 naira as net profit each month. If you are to repay your loan of 10 naira monthly, is it okay to pay from your net, or you should also include the cost to your unit price? You should always, so like I mentioned, break everything down to your unit price, so that every unit that you're selling, you're able to make back your capital and your profits. So please, cost should be on the unit price. Thank you. Okay, I have another. Okay, so someone says, but I even use this as an example. Oh. So how do you know what to charge in service based? I'm a fashion designer. So this is easy peasy. The first thing you want to do is, the first thing you want to do is, are you the one sewing yourself? Are you paying? Are you paying? I can't remember in the fashion world. I don't know what you call the people that sew for you, right? Those ones that I think they are the tailors. Are you paying a tailor to sew? Are you paying a designer to sketch design for the sewing? Are you paying for utility for them to be able to produce sew the dress? Are you also paying for, say, thread, materials, all the things they are using? All these costs should be written out. Don't be scared to write. You don't have to use Bible and pen and Bible and book. Do you want to write it on your notepad? Do you want to write it on an Excel? Do you want to write it on somewhere online? Make sure you are able to note all these things. Then, after you've been able to note all the costs, remember your overhead should also be there. Then you now add your own profits to it. After all these things, then my profit margin should be 30%, right? 30% of all those costs, add it to the cost, right? That's how to make your numbers. It's very easy. Do you get? It's not hard at all. It's very easy. Make sure you calculate everything. Who are you paying? Imagine you as a fashion designer, you are not paying yourself after the whole stress. Imagine you are even the one sewing yourself, you are the designer, you are the one sewing, and after everything, you are just typically collecting money for material. And so people don't even factor the fact that they are using light. A lot of people use industrial machines to sew now. You see that you are using light or you are using gen or something. So people don't factor it into their cost too. They'll just give customer, they'll just calculate the things they can remember. Even the thread, even if you had the thread at home before and in the store before, definitely the amount of thread you use to sew that cloth is not going back to that thread. So meaning that you should also a fraction of the amount you used to buy that thread should also be added to your cost, right? So I believe I've been able to answer your question. Ramla Madmos. Apologies if I didn't pronounce the name well. Okay, I think I've been able to answer all the questions I can see.
Oh, thank you very much, Esther. I don't think you have answered this. There's a question from Babatunde Ola.
Okay,
Yeah,
I am
so,
not okay. I'm not seeming to see the question. Can you read it out for me, please? Thank you.
all right, okay. So he said, how can you explain X and Y retailers selling a product like Coke bottle, for which
Oh,
is,
that was what I responded to first when I said if you
yeah,
are
that
going,
was
yes. So when I said
okay.
if you are going to if you're going to supply them, definitely the cost to take those goods to this to the customer should be added, because you're adding that's you adding more value. So it's a very good way to even increase costs. If you know that before you want to you include the cost of transportation and also increase your own costs. That is one of value you can add to your customer to say we will be bringing it to your doorstep now, but our cost is now 3,000 naira. It's no longer to five, right? I responded to Babatunde earlier. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. And I guess that's clear enough. So, please, people in the house, if you still have questions, if you have contribution, please signify or drop the questions in the chat box, as we are here to still treat and give answers to your concerns. So we'll
Okay.
just give you few seconds, please.
So before we round up, before I leave, thank you to me for your time. Before I leave, there's one last thing I want us to go with. You now have the knowledge, the rest is up to you as a business person. You have the knowledge now. Please, I do not want to see that you are making a loss. Please remember to the rest is up to you.
Okay,
You've gained the
Stephen
knowledge today.
Opochini. Sorry, Stephen Opochini, your hand is raised. Please, team guys, can you help unmute Stephen Opochini? His hand is raised, so he can speak. All right, Stephen.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Stephen.
Okay. So it was a bit that it was quite enlightening. This section. Actually got a lot from it. But my question is as regard. I'm a wine distributor in Benin City. Yeah, my goods come from Lagos from the importer. So I distribute to retailers and modern trade. And it takes a lot of logistics. My delivery van and delivery truck to get these goods to them. So now, usually, yes, I must admit, I've never really factored in that as a cost of uh, to add to my pricing. So usually what I do is because it came with from Lagos from the supplier, I just add up my margin on it and I begin to say, yes, no, it has been a terrible year, so to speak, over time. Yes, my profit margin has been so low after, and most time I was just breaking even or even going at a loss. So my question is now, am I supposed to factor in if I'm to factor in the cost of delivery to my customers at their doorstep? and every week you need to buy fuel and all that. Am I to make the calculation of recalculate my profit, my cost of selling goods every single month, adding up the cost of fueling my vehicle and getting this goods to them at their doorstep, or do an annual calculation of what it cost me to get to buy fuel on a yearly basis and calculate and spread on the products. So those are one of the questions I need to ask. And secondly, if I know you didn't speak on it, it has to do with the question of VAT. In our line of business, we have we have always very silent on VAT, so to speak, because one, you have a lot of competitors. And when you are charging a retailer VAT to remit to the government, they will say one distributor B is not charging them VAT. The VAT is making your product more expensive. So they rather want to go elsewhere and buy. So most of the time, we all shy away from actually charging that VAT and selling, distributing to them at a very low price or without charging the VAT. So, but as it is, are we supposed to hide the VAT inside the cost of goods while we are pricing, hide that VAT inside, or actually state the VAT separately? And that will most time really raising an eyebrow from the customers who are supplying. I know Mr. Chinedu is not charging me VAT. Why should he be charging me VAT? So please, how do we navigate around this very serious issue of VAT too? So thank you very much. Let me use the other person and you can answer my questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Stephen. So your first question, I'm going to respond to your first question. Your first question says that the cost of having to move those goods to your customer's doorstep, you were never factoring it into your cost. Please remember that it's very important that you start to factor it in. So this is it, right? Okay. So before now, you were not factoring it in. One thing I will say, I won't stutter on that. Please factor it in. It's part of your costs because like you said, you're buying fuel, you're fixing, you're maintaining the vehicle. You don't want it to be a situation whereby it's from your profit you're fueling the vehicle, and before you know it, you're actually not getting any profit from your business. And like I said, customers know like the Coca-Cola we use as an example the other time. Customers know the value. They know you're bringing it to their doorstep. They know what it takes to have to go and buy when they have to stress themselves, their time, and everything. And also, you cannot do annually. So some people try to do annually, but we said something around review your cost, even if it's not every month, quarterly. Because another thing again you don't want to be doing is every month you're increasing your cost when every other person is not increasing their cost. So when I say don't look at competitors, again, one thing is don't entirely shy away from what competitors are doing so that you don't move out of business. You should also know what competitors are doing. But then again, what competitors are doing should not be your primary objective of when you're making your calculation for your selling price. So please include the cost to transport today, increase it in your costs, then add your profit margin before you have your selling price. It's very important because what you are doing today is that cost that you're using to transport those goods to the customer, you are taking it from your profits. So you said when they bring it from Lagos, you just had your own profit, and that your own profit that you're adding. The money you're using to buy fuel is you're taking it from that profit. So if you're adding 700 naira and you're having to transport the goods to the customer at 200 naira, definitely your profit is now 500 naira. It's no longer 700 naira. So that's what is happening. But a very delicate case to be is when um maybe say you're even charging your profit is even just 200 naira, and you're even transporting the goods already at 190, meaning you're just making a profit of 10 naira. Is that a good one? That's not a good place to be. Please let your customers see value of what you are giving to them, you're transporting to them. they definitely know that it's a different ball game when they are coming to buy from you. So please ensure and also communicate what it is to them. Then for the VAT, please do not be part of those businesses that do not include VAT, because you will still eventually have to pay the VAT to the government, and you don't want to be penalized for not paying VAT. So please, customers even know they can be saying quoting this person is this person, but you don't want to be like the crowd. You want to be a compliant business. So please, I would advise that we all stay compliant and ensure that, in the Western world today, there's no business that don't include VAT in what they are doing. It's just in somewhere here that people are able to, and not even a lot of things are happening now. Not a lot of people are easy to go free with it. Right.
All
So
right.
Stephen, I believe I've been able to answer your question.
Hello, Stephen, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Okay.
Stephen, please include your transportation, include it,
Yes.
and don't do it annually. So why you cannot do it annually again is that you can tell how many times fuel price has changed this year, but just in the 6 months of this year. At least I know it fluctuated. Went from, there was one time it was, I really don't know if it was every state in Nigeria. But I know there was a time it was at 1,300, there was a time it was at 1,000, there was a time that was at 1,090 naira. Different price. So you cannot just say that, okay, based off of what it was in January, that's what you're going to be charging, that's what you're going to use as a cost. What if it increases to as high as 2,000 naira? And the fact what you factored in at the beginning of the year was that fuel will be 1,000 naira when it has doubled. Do you understand? So that's why you need to be reviewing. Even if not every month, you need to be reviewing. That's why I said one of the things you should stick on your in your office wall is reminder to review quarterly, if not monthly, quarterly, because you don't have say over those things. You don't have say over how much fuel will be tomorrow. You don't have say over how much it will be to buy even a spare part of your vehicle. Do you understand? So all these things, it's not even like it's within your control. You can only make annual decisions on so and not review some things when you know that it's within your own purview, right? It's within your power. But things that are not within your power. That's why it's important that you review everything. That's why I made an example the other time when I said people that still buy things at the same rates. So yeah, they're still supplying you at the same rate from January to June. But the other things, are they still at the same rate they were in January? Those are the things you need to look at as well. Thank you. And because I said you should review every quarter, please, to everyone, I'm not saying you should always be increasing your cost every time. The only message you're sending to your customer is that we want to increase our cost. That's the only time they see your message. Aside from that, there's no message to say we are saying hello to you, we are happy to serve you. There's no message to even say hello to your customers once in a while. Please don't do that. Don't do that. That's why it's very important. Once in a while, send a hello message. I'm not saying you should spam your customers, but we appreciate you for being our customers. We promise you to uphold our value to you and to always serve you. Those things, those messages, sometimes let it go out. Or even sometimes even send a message to say discount for our loyal customers on your next purchase. You're going to be getting a 5% discount. All those kind of messages, it keeps customers with you. Not like it's only when you want to increase your cost, they will now see your first message ever. They've been doing business with you for 10 years. You've never sent them message. It's the day you want to increase cost, they will see your message. Don't be that kind of a business. Customer relationship is very important. It's a very, very important part as well. I know there's a session we've taken before where we've spoken about this at length, where we spoke about how to ensure that you are retaining your customers as well. And your customers are able to say, is Mr. Steven that supplies me my own goods. So, and their service is very top notch. Is this? Let your customers be able to sell your business for you. Let them be able to say that, oh, this my vendor is top notch. Their service is top notch. Their quality is top notch. Please be in that position where your customers can sell you to other people. Okay. Do we have any other questions? Steven, thank you for raising your electronic hand and speaking to us. So it makes I don't just feel like I'm
Thank you
just
very much. I appreciate every answer we gave is clear. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate.
thank you, Stephen. Okay, do we still have any electronic hand raised? Another thing before I go, I remembered. Please, my name is Esther Tabatele once again from the Business Hub. At the Business Hub, what we do is to ensure that we support MSMEs at different capacity, at different stages, to ensure that they are expanding their business, they're able to maintain the operational operations, and also they're able to sustain, expand, and operations of their business, right? And if you are not signed up on TBH today, please, or your any of your browser, dial www.business, or look at my screen. I said dial, sorry. Type in www.thebusinesshub.ng to sign up on TBH today to enjoy this similar sort of webinars. Also, you can send us a mail. Do you want a business advisor? Is there any solution that you want for your business? Are you looking at your business structuring? Are you looking at your business post incorporation services? Are you looking at how to get to the market? Please do not hesitate to send us a mail at hello@thebusinesshub.ng. Is your business registered today? I hope everybody on this call is business owner. If your business is not registered, please can we get a poll to know please people that their business are not registered today? Can we get
Sorry, Esther. Caleb hands is raised.
okay? So I have okay, Caleb, please go ahead with your question. Okay, I wanted to read your question. Okay.
Good evening,
Hello,
everyone.
Caleb. Please have the floor. Yeah,
Okay,
good
good
evening,
evening,
Caleb.
everyone.
Good evening.
So I actually joined late because I was doing something and I didn't get a notification when the webinar started. But however, there was I think last week there is a business call by TBH as well. So something that was highlighted got me interested. Somebody was asking for a loan facility, but I think Mr. Imam, somebody like that, advise the applicant that instead of getting a loan, that what Sterling does most times for startup is to do business analysis for startup and see how healthy they are and how they can support them, maybe to generate more revenues, customer acquisition, leads, conversion, or something like that. So that was really a good one by Sterling, if that exists. So I ask similar question here. I run a logistics company, a freight forwarding, and Sterling Bank is my bank. So my bank is domiciled with Sterling Bank. So I was asking if Sterling Bank has such service in place where they help businesses, startups structure their business in a way where they can get more leads, more clients to scale up their revenue. So that's my question, please.
Okay. Thank you, Caleb. Thank you so much for that question. So, at different points in time, we partner with Sterling to provide loan readiness to businesses, right? So, a lot of time, a lot of people know they have the idea that oh, they want to get facility, they want to get a business loan, but the major problem is if they are ready. So, at different points in time, we help business with business readiness sessions where we coach businesses on how to be ready to take loan, things they need to do to ensure that they take loan. So one of the things that I would say to you today, there are a lot of things that people don't know, right? And it's not even just everywhere. You should ensure that some things are in place before anybody can loan to you. So what we do time to time is to ensure that we provide you with business readiness in partnership with TPH as well. We also ensure that you are structured. So anybody that wants to give you a loan sees that this business is viable and this business is in a good standing for them to offer a loan to you. So that's why things like we say today, okay, we had a poll that says, is your business registered, right? That's because I wanted to know people that are on this call that have a registered business. For those ones that are not registered, if you want to get, most time when you want to get a loan for your business, right? A lot of, even when it's government grants and the rest, they always tell you, if you have a registered business, bring out your business registration certificate, right? So those people that said no today, what we'll try to do is to engage you to see how the business hub can help you get your business registered. At different points in time too, when we want to have this loan readiness, business being ready to take up a loan or take up funding, not just loans, right? Take up funding. Funding entails, be it commercial loan, be it grant, be it investors. Yeah, a lot of people that invest into business today, right? Not just we have loan. So we have angel investors, we have grants, we have people that give seed fundings, we have people that wants to invest in your business, we have commercial banks like the likes of Sterling. I can see how they are they pride about it and how they are how they are providing funding to business customers in different sectors. They ensure that sometimes they even had to create some funding for different businesses because they know that a loan that will work for an agric business might not work for a business in the education sector. So that's why you see that they also sell different sector loans. So what I'm going to say to you today is, and also how to grow your numbers of your customers. We also hold sessions like this as well, when we tell businesses how to grow your business. I said it in the midst of my conversation when I say how to retain your customers. So one thing you need to know is, aside looking for new customers, the ones you have, are you retaining them well? Do you have a good relationship with them? Right? And ways that you can increase your customer pool. How can you sell to your customers? How can you be out there? Right? These are conversations we have. When we also send, TBH also sends in newsletter. Newsletter contains how you can thrive in the economy, how you can thrive in the next quarter, how you can thrive as a business person, how you can get leads, how you can engage to get more customers to you. So please look out for these sessions and look out for these engagements, and this, when we call you for this session, please register. If it's you registering, if it's you attending physically, please do not hesitate to do these things. These are ways that Sterling Bank and TPH supports businesses. Okay, so I see few people said they don't have a registered business. Please, you should register your business. Please, Caleb, I believe that I've been able to answer your question. Please always look out for sessions where we're speaking to you on how you can grow your leads, get customers based on your own type of business, how you can, expand, and how you can even sustain the business. So another thing is that a lot of people don't know how to even sustain the one that you have now. It's also very important. It's only a business that is sustained that can even expand. You have to have a good standing first before you can expand, right? So we had a session last time when we were telling people that, are you ready to expand your business? Some people just want to have another store or another branch just because they want to have another branch, not because they have looked into their business, if they are able to run another branch. So these are things that you should look out for to join so that we equip you with this knowledge. Thank you. Okay, another thing for what I was saying is, ensure today that as you are increasing your selling price, are you making collection with the right tools? Hope you are not making collections into your savings account. Hope you are not making collections into your personal account. Oh, like someone like Caleb now, please ensure you are making all your proceeds from your business is going into your business account, so that if tomorrow you want to get funding and somebody says, let me see what you'll be able to do on your own, you're able to present a business statement that shows your inflows and shows your business. You can analyze your business to say, okay, this business inflow, outflow, is this business credible enough? So if you do not have a business account today, this is the time to ensure you open a business account. um People, please, can we have a poll for people to notify us if they have a Sterling business account today? And the best accounts you can have to ensure that you are running your business well is a Sterling business account. Trust me, I can vouch for them to say that Sterling is always ready, always there to provide businesses with the best solutions, businesses with the best offerings. And how can you get access to that? Okay, okay, Caleb says all passes through his business account. That's a very good one. Okay, yeah, okay, my business is ready start. Okay, Stephen, thank you. Okay, so please can we have a poll that shows people that might want to have a Sterling business account if they don't have one yet? Please ensure, as your business advisor again, I'll remind you, all your business, every payment customers are making to you should be in your business account. Even when you are paying your suppliers, it should be from your business account as well. After all, you are getting payment for into your business account. Okay, okay. Is it just me? I'm not seeing the poll that asks if you have a Sterling business account.
Yeah, this is, do you have a Sterling business account? That's a pool we have.
Okay, we have it now. Okay, okay. I don't know. I'm not seeing it from my end, but I hope our audience are able to see it. What do you mean? You said you can see it.
Yes, yes.
Okay, Caleb says the poll is not submitting. Kindly check it. Back end, please, can you help us check what's happening? People are unable to submit. Can we put it up again? Okay, Caleb, you might want to check your network. We've had some people submit, so it may be a network issue from your end. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay. Also, we are mentioned that let us know the next business training topics you are interested in attending. And a link was dropped earlier. Please let us fill in the link, the form in the link to tell us the business, the training you would like to join us in the next time we're going to be having this kind of session. Let us know. Please fill in the form. It was dropped, link was dropped to that form earlier. Also, for you to be able to easily get payments done into your business account, to build a good business account, a good Sterling business account, another thing you should do is to get a POS. Do you have a Sterling POS account today? A Sterling POS terminal. Do you have one? If you do not, please, you never can tell. You might be lucky, courtesy of Sterling, to get a Sterling POS to make all your connections so that your customers do not have to pass through any other to make payments. Okay, okay. Do you need a POS machine? Do you have one? If you do not have one and you have a Sterling account, why are you waiting? What are you waiting for you to be able to make all your collections into your POS account, into your Sterling account, into your business account? It has to be from a Sterling terminal, POS terminal. If you do not have a Sterling POS terminal today, this is also an opportunity to signify. Don't you have? Okay, so Caleb asks me, do I need one for a logistic of forwarding company? Okay, for a logistic company, right? I don't know how you operate. So if your customers get to pay you, yes, you can give your customers POS for them to swipe in their card and make payments. So it's not a problem. If they pay on delivery, your riders could also hold the POS along, they make payment and they hand over their goods to them. Yes. So even if you think you don't get to meet your customers, Sterling also has links that you can share. You can share with your customers. So immediately does make payment to you and reach into your Sterling business account as well. Okay, so do we have the poll that shows people that want a POS machine? Sterling POS machine, courtesy Sterling and CBA partnership. We bring you this sort of session, and courtesy of Sterling, a POS can be yours to drive your business if you need one. There's a post up saying, do you need a POS for your business? Okay, do you need a POS for your business? Let me see the question rolling, 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 rolling. You never can tell, you might be the lucky winner of a POS machine to get collections. Don't live in your cake world. It's 2026. Your customers are asking, oh, I want to pay. I have my card, I want to make payment. And I say, I don't have a POS machine. That's wrong, go. That is a very, very wrong state to be. Please, even Steven that says he supplies, please, you should be holding your POS machines when you are supplying. People can pay you. It's a cashless environment now. So people don't hold cash again. Just give them POS to make payments. Okay, okay. Okay. Remember to also register via the link that was dropped for the next session you'd like to attend to. Thank you, everyone. And the poll is still up. I'll hand over to Rotimi now to take over the closing remarks. Thank you, Rotimi, for having me. Thank you, everyone, for joining the session. I was glad to have impacted knowledge, and I believe that we've gained one or two knowledge today. It's left to you, my business owners. Ensure that your time here today is worth your while, and everything that you've learned today, you pack it to your business, and your business is enough to pay you, and you're not the one paying your business, but your business is paying you. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you very much, Esther. Thank you so much for the great and section you've uh, taken us through. And on just in 1 minute, can we have someone to you might raise up your electronic hand or just drop it in the chat in one sentence what you've learned from today's section. Please, I really appreciate feedback from each and every one of us. Whatever you've learned, whatever you're taking out from this section. If you want to speak, you can raise your electronic hand. However, you can as well drop what you've learned from today's section in our chat, and we really appreciate that. So in 5 seconds, are we having anybody to raise their hands? Even myself, I needed to jot some things, so I had some things I've jotted, and I believe it's going to be helpful. Okay, so let me check our chat box. So, okay, Caleb is still the one raising his electronics, and okay. So Caleb, please help us unmute Caleb in one sentence, please. Tell us what you've learned from today's section. Thank you.
Okay, in one sentence, what I've learned today is I have learned the power of follow-up, as in following up with existing customers.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, thank you. It's good. You need to follow up with your customers, and like I said, and also our facilitator has also told us, as Esther has also told us, how we need to, value our customers, to value their feedback. They're the one that will tell us how our business is faring, what we are here to do, and what we need to do, and maybe what we've done on our, and also how we can do them better. Yes, also in the chat box, we have someone said, I've learned how to better cost my product before setting my selling price. Yes, that's good. Someone said, I have learned how to calculate profit margin. Yeah, that's very great. So once again, thank you, and I'm really glad that we all took something and out of this section. Please and please, it will be very great if we just should take heed to all these things we've learned from this section. All right, so as we come to the end of today's webinar section, sorry. All right, so as we have come to today's webinar section, on behalf of TBH and Sterling Bank, I would like to sincerely thank each and every one of us, that's every participant who have joined today, and we hope today's section provided practical strategies which you can apply in your day-to-day businesses. And I hope we all know that profitable pricing isn't just about guessing. Yes, so it's not just about guessing. It's not just about we copying competitors as well, or it's not just absorbing every increase in cost. Basically, what I noted was profitable pricing is about understanding your numbers and pricing with confidence. So, and I can categorize it as you return to your businesses today. I encourage every one of us to take a fresh look at our pricing. A small adjustment, which I believe, yes, a small adjustment today can make a significant difference in our profitability tomorrow. Once again, I say thank you, everyone. I say thank you for spending your time with us, and we look forward to having each and every one of you at our next webinar. Do have a productive day, and I will end this meeting saying goodbye. Thank you. Bye.